Hello everyone. We all have heard in the news these days that AI is taking jobs, and in today's video, I am going to demonstrate how that is happening. What I will be doing today is to develop the front end part of two of the most widely used apps in social media, that is Instagram and WhatsApp. I will also be showing how easy it is to develop these without having any prior knowledge of web based coding or utilities like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. The first app that I will be building, or I should say, the AI is going to build for me, is Instagram. So, what I'm going to do now is execute the code and show you the output, post which we will be going into discussing how this code has been built. So let me just start by running the code. So it's asking me which app I want to build. So let me just say Instagram. Okay, so it says app build has been completed. You want to launch it now. So let me just say yes. Yeah. So as you can see, it has created by the way, this is just a fake Instagram. It has created like a very realistically looking Instagram kind of web page wherein you can basically do some likes, dislikes, scrolling up and down. So the functionality has been kept to a very minimum as of now. But yeah, as you can see, and we all have this famous picture as well over here. So yeah, I can go and just like or unlike someone's post. As you can see, these are some very high resolution photos that are coming up. So yeah, this is the first app, and now let me execute this code again to build the second app in our case, which would be WhatsApp. So now let me go back to this and rerun the code. This time I'm going to say WhatsApp. So our build is complete. Let's launch it. So yeah, this is again like a very simplistic looking version of the app, which you can see now. What I can do here is I can go over individual chats and just do some chat with this person. These are all fake chats, by the way. So great. Let's discuss the project then. Okay, sounds good. So I've messaged this person. Uh, And as you can see, it is not showing up retaining the apps or the chats of the uh, of with the person. So it's like a bare minimum functionality which I've kept for now. This is just for illustration purposes. So uh, that way you can just send the messages and all. So yeah, this is basically the bare minimum version of how you can create for front end versions of these apps just by the click of the button. So the first one which we created was the realistically looking Instagram app, and the second one is this fake WhatsApp. So yeah, this is basically how you can create. And if I go back to the code, we'll start with the explanation of this code. So let me just make it a little larger. So we start by importing our usual libraries. So I'll explain them one by one. Now, if you remember from my previous video, whenever we are invoking an LLM, we have to import the OpenAI, and there's an API key involved into creating that object. So that gets stored in this environment file over here. And to load the contents of that environment file, we have to use this load.env. And when we create an LLM instance from OpenAI, this key gets passed directly into this without basically giving it. So it's implicitly being passed. You don't have to, although you can do that as well. Then we are taking the user inputs, which app you want to build. Now, the crux of this is whatever detailing in the app which you saw. So, if I go back again, so all these details around the structured layout, how generally an Instagram app looks like or a WhatsApp looks like, all that detailing of color, texture, formats has been provided in this formatting.json. So, if I open this, and let me just wrap the text here. So as you can see, I have given it in a JSON format where the key is the name of the app. First is Instagram, and second one is WhatsApp. And from here to here, these are the prompt details that I have provided to the LLM as to how the app should look like, both for Instagram and this one is for WhatsApp. So once we provide this information and pass it on to our model, then it will get more information as to what exact components it has to put to make the app look more realistic. Now, as I specifically mentioned in the start of the video, that it is only the front end, it's not a complete end-to-end app. The objective of this video is just to showcase how you can do it in no time. So if we go and see this, I have given a system prompt which says you need to generate complete code using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and use the following details. So this is basically the main portion wherein the config that has been loaded from this formatting.json is being stored in this config object. And then from this config object, we get the uh, details or the format details for the app which the user provides. So this is a dictionary object in which you can provide the name which we are asking here. So if I open the terminal, we were actually the output is gone, but if you remember, we were actually giving it the app names. So the app name goes over here and it fetches the config for that specific app name from this formatting.json. Now, if you want to build more apps, all you need to do is just put the name of the app and provide the formatting details here, and it can start creating those apps as well. Coming to the portion which was previously discussed is we start with the chat creations object, pass along a model. So for this example, I've used GPT 5.4 mini. The structure remains the same. We have to pass messages. So we start with the system prompt with the role of system and then user input. So whatever app name that you're providing goes here as well in the role of user. And what you will see here are two new parameters, which is seed and temperature. So these are kind of like guardrails to make sure that the model output is more or less reproducible. Now, to be very, very clear and put sort of like a disclaimer that even if you put this does not ensure that the model will exactly recreate the same kind of output every time, but it does provide sort of determinism into the output. So once this response is done, what we do is we basically run it inside a loop. So sometimes what happens is whenever it's creating an output, it might run up into some sort of encoding error. So we put it inside a try and an is except route where, and if any exception is being created while the LLM produces this response, if some issue has happened, it will go and do it again until it creates like a non-erroneous output. So once that output is created, it actually stores all of that coded output into this temp.html file. Now, mind you, whenever in this code, whenever we are putting a new app name, this temp.html file gets overwritten every time. So if I open this file over here, you can see the code that the AI has written for me. Now, if you remember in the starting of the video, I told you I have no idea. I have very, in fact, I should say I have slight idea of HTML, no idea of CSS, JavaScript, or PHP. But still, it is I'm able to generate this code with the use of this AI. So this is basically the crux of today's video, that without having any personal knowledge of this kind of coding, I'm able to generate this temp file. Once this file is created, it's being written here, and then we just use a simple prompt again to see if the user wants to execute this file. So if it's a Y or a yes, then we do an os.system, which is nothing. If you want to just give operating system level commands, execute them, you can just put them in the os.system. So do that with a start followed by the file name. Once you do that, it actually launches these HTML files and shows the front end output like this, which we saw. So, to sum it up, this was the LLM part, and an LLM, to be very precise, is never able to do any function calls by itself. Rather, it needs some coding support. So here, the coding has been done through this construct over here, and to start that app or the front end of the app, we are using this construct here. So all the LLM is providing is just uh, a complete code of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript elements as I showed you, and that gets written over a file. And then over here, it gets executed through os.system. So if we take all of these three things combined, this is what is called as an agent. So by itself, LLM can just generate text output, but for it to actually do something tangible, it needs additional piece of codes, which makes it a coding agent and not just an LLM. So yeah, this was basically the crux of what I wanted to showcase in today's video. Uh, I hope you got some insights as to how these coding agents work at the bare minimum level. If you enjoyed watching this video and learned something new, tune into my next set of tutorial videos. If you like the content of this channel and find it valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Until then, see you in the next video.